Welcome back to Repo Rethink Politics, where we jump back in on our second half discussion on politics, the State of the Union, and the media on the Bougie Black Brother Network.
Now, wait. Did we talk about, have we done a podcast since the State of the Union?
Oh, no. Nope.
Okay, all right, just real quick, because during the commercial around it, there's that billionaire guy who's liberal, but he's just straight, like, impeachment guy, yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen the commercial? Like, Donald Trump is too dangerous.
I know he's gotta look this up. His name.
Get his ass out of there. I approve this message.
Yeah. Tom Steyer.
And he's just like,
who?
Tom
What'd he say?
Steyer. Tom Steyer.
Yeah. And I'm kind of like,
Peach.com.
Oh, that's a website? What is it?
Yeah, needtoimpeach.com.
Okay.
He brought the domain and shit.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about, though. He's got a whole campaign, multiple commercials, not just one, and him on a rant.
Multiple with this, yeah. So when you talk about a super PAC,
billionaire, by the way, a billionaire.
Yeah. I mean, so on one hand, is it reasonable versus unreasonable? But he's about that action. So in terms of like, if you combine him and Bernie, and then you have a serious conversation about Democratic leadership, I'd be curious to see what happens.
I'll be curious. But my problem is, we getting into this 18 is the congressional year. So you got senators and congressmen by the end of this year. Yeah. And then, Russia, they already saying it. Russia's going to be involved. And Facebook is trying to say, look, you're not going to blame me this time. So they're trying to make corrections. So everyone is circling the wagons on what they do in order to say, not my fault. And the Mueller needs that investigation needs to come out with fucking something before that election. Because if we don't, then the people will still say, see, they ain't even came up with anything. The Russians didn't do anything, even though there's evidence everywhere saying that they're doing it. And they did it legally because they just use Facebook because we as a country use Facebook for our fucking news. And we grab it and go, Twitter. Yep, that guy, what's the name, has, what was that? The pizza shop, and they was just having kids in the back, and this dude showed up with a shotgun. Like, what the fuck? It was on Facebook.
Hillary.
So these are these things that, if we don't get ahead of a lot of this nonsense going on, we're going to be in an election time and totally confused of what we're going to do. And I'm saying we because it's not us three. I'm saying us as a country.
The masses.
Yeah. And that's still so... It's sad and it's disappointing because with the amount of information and people being inundated with so much of that, we still just as stupid because we think what we see, it's still what's happening. Sorry. We're stupid. Because if you know it's wrong, but you're saying, well, I don't think it's that bad. Okay, so now... what are we going to get to? I mean, we had this on one of our episodes. Does it take murder for something to go, okay, but why did he kill him, though? Then that's the question. Well, why did he kill him? I know he killed him, but why?
I mean, so let's talk about the dude, the Trump advisor, White House advisor who's stepping down because of abuse. So you have a guy, you got Bannon who got kicked out. You got Flynn who stepped down. You got the White House Spicer, Scaramucci. Now here's another one.
I forgot one too. Reince Priebus, or whatever his name was.
No one even knows
he
him.
was there temporarily.
Regular people don't know
they
about
pulled
chief
him
of
in
staff.
as a chief of staff, and they was like, "Why'd you pull him in?" Because he was part of the. I think he was the head of the RNC, right?
Something like that. And
Ryan Priebus,
Reince Priebus, or whatever.
Whatever. Yeah, and I'm kind of like, yeah, and
Ryan Priebus.
This is another. To me, I'm kind of like, y'all didn't do a background check, or so will it even be a story? And this is a question we ask a lot too, in terms of like, does this even matter? Like, it's just because, it's a question of does it register? Because it's more so about the outrage factor. Mm-hmm. If Trump does some Trump shit, that's Trump being Trump. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I just had a baby with Melania. I'm a fucking porn star, baby. And it's like, damn. You know what I'm saying? That's some Trump shit
right there. And then you'd be like,
oh, Trump.
And I'm just kind of like, for a lot of people, they're just kind of like, oh, can they talk about something that really matters? You know what I mean? Or that doesn't, I don't care about that. What about the quote unquote issues?
You can't get to the issues. You can't get to the issues because you're finding out a bunch of these people are doing fucked up shit. And then that gets to the top of the news feed. And you'd be like, another abuser, never again, hashtag, or, yep.
Oh, see, Mike, see what you're doing? The feminists gonna be mad. Are you saying it is white sexual abusers who are to blame for the political
Yes, it's the
issues,
white sexual abusers and physical abusers that is causing the problems in the White House. Yeah. And they still showing Melania as like, stop touching me, dude. You're a fucking nasty dog. And and they keep playing these character issues and they focusing on that and not the policies that's affecting us, which will be long term. Because just because he's acting like a dick today, tomorrow or behind closed door tonight, he's signing a bill to say, you're gonna find this out in a couple of days. This is what I did. Because you're focusing on this bullshit that I'm doing.
Yeah. They focus on the wrong shit.
I try to look in between there. Like this, I get it. Good. At least he resigned. Got you. Let's move on. It's not a fucking talking issue. Well, that shows that his whole cabinet, I don't care. Get him out of there. They don't vent anybody. They don't vet anybody. They just pull in whoever they want. And once they find out that they fucked up, they're gone.
You know what, though? It's Black History Month and all. And, again, I do my little plug for Tidal just because I think they're really dope. And Muhammad Ali has some quotes on there, right? And you could, like, listen to some of his shit. And, he talks a lot of shit. I'm too fast. I'm too good. If you think he's great, he'll fall in 8 or some shit like that. He'll have his little rhymes. And I'm kind of like, I was just thinking about it. Like, what if in the 80s Muhammad Ali ran for president? And he just ran off of his quotes and he was just talking shit about what if he attacked campaigning like he attacked his press conferences on boxing? So and so, he's ugly, he's terrible, I'm gonna be the greatest president of all time, I'm so pretty, I'm too fast, I'm too good. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like people are like, yo, he's not qualified. And people can be like, well,
I give you credit. I'm gonna give you credit. You did 2 impressions this time. You did the Seinfeld, now you did the Muhammad Ali. So.
Whatever. Well, doing this over the, how we doing it now is kind of weird. Yeah, so it probably throws me off in terms of like inflection. But so my point is, when you talk about does it register? If Muhammad Ali was in there, we find out he's doing X, he's doing Y. How would, especially black people, come on, we're going to be like, shit, whatever, bro, you know what I'm saying?
Remember,
that's our dude.
Jesse Jackson was running. He was doing really great until he actually said, hey, Farrakhan, I want some advice. Let's talk about it. And they was like, oh, he's with the black Muslims. Fuck Jesse Jackson. And then the white people was like, oh, no, he's ostracized. He's fucking, whatever. And he was like, oh, shit. I was just talking with him. They was like, nope, done with. He was getting posts and everything. Jesse
Because I know
Jackson.
Obama. Yeah, because I know Obama. Did y'all see how there was a picture that came out? He was with Farrakhan. You gotta get his name. I'm trying to remember his name. Louis Farrakhan. Am I saying his name right? Yeah,
Louis Farrakhan. Yeah, The head
of
the
I don't know what year. I think it was in 2005. And then Fox News was trying to put out a picture of him, Obama, together, and they made a whole news story out of it. How that was a big deal. How maybe he was trying to infiltrate the Muslims and change what the U.S. was. It was something stupid. It just made me think of that. Like they just forever just keep bringing up Obama when it comes to.
So any chance they get is let's bring up Obama because he did so well. Now they'll never say that, but in their mind, he did some things that we have to show them that he caused a lot of that. Everything that's going wrong, even though I'm doing it, it's Obama's fault because that was policies from Obama. No, dude, his policies was fine. You're fucking up the policy. But if they could just keep throwing his name out, they're going to say, let's erase him from the history books. So when we look back and we talk about Obama, it'll look like a failed presidency. That is the effort of the Republican Party and Trump's administration. That's exact. And to make any black person that challenges him, he has to tweet about him, regardless.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah,
He had a
you're
whole
right.
segment on that too. That's why I brought that up. That Trump just goes after people of color, especially black people.
He didn't say anything about Mark.
Yeah, no,
Mark
you're right.
Cuban. He didn't say anything about. He didn't say nothing about Steve Kerr. He didn't say nothing about Coach Popovich.
Yeah, Popovich be going in on that ass on a daily basis.
If you bring that shit up in his face, he's gonna say something.
Yeah, and that's another thing. It's like, what's up with these reporters? Like, you got the opportunity to say, "Hey," like, it's like the stuff that we want them to ask.
Like, get them, man. Get them.
Like the Democrats, man. They scared to lose their job.
No, they won't be in the White House. They won't be let into the White House. They have to be able to get in because if they don't get a story, that means they don't get the advertisers and they don't get what they need for their channel or their paper to survive. So they have to compromise in certain ways.
But Acosta, is it Jim Acosta? I think his name is. He's the only one that goes at him a little harder than the rest, and then all of a sudden,
the black lady too that he was attacking. Remember that one black? I forgot her name. Yeah.
April Ryan. Right?
Yeah. They threw Acosta ass out, didn't they?
I think he was like suspended or something.
Walked his ass out of there.
He got escorted out.
Yeah, he got escorted.
That's a better way to say it.
Accompanied.
He's asking unfair questions, is what they call it.
Yeah,
unfair. Like, are you racist? Unfair. Get your ass out of here.
They don't know how to answer those questions.
It's just a weird time, man. I don't know.
I just wonder how far does it need to go? Because you got so it's 2018. This is the year when if we want to take the House, and I'm saying we, like I'm like part of the entire the Democrats, but if the Democrats want to take over, now is the time to step up and make some noise and do something. A shutdown would be perfect, in my opinion. Maybe some people disagree with that, but I feel like they should be actually making some noise and say, "Oh, the Democrats are there." You know what I mean? And then somebody needs to step up, and then I didn't. Okay, since we're talking about the State of the Union, can we talk about their Joe Kennedy and how
sweat mouth?
Because I wasn't feeling it too much. I'm doing great things, but I wasn't feeling it though.
But he was cliche.
Yeah.
He was the cliche. He's a Kennedy. He's a young guy. He's saying the opposite.
Lip gloss.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lip gloss. That situation was like, bruh, you're killing me. Yeah, you're killing me. I'll say this because he is right. it's kind of like, what's the plan? And for that, instead of going with, because I wanted to give him a chance, but I'm just kind of like, I don't have to see him again. I really don't. Yeah, because it's like, it's the Hillary Clinton thing. You want with someone who's safe, not edgy.
Kennedy, the Clinton, it's
and
the same thing. It's that dynasty.
Yeah, it's kind of like, bro, get you a Patel, a Jones, a Lakeisha, and be like, look,
Did you hear
this
that
is
dumb
bullshit.
shit?
And here's
Yeah,
why.
at least
I made a
show up and say,
PowerPoint
"Did you hear
presentation.
that bullshit that he was saying?" Whoa. Everybody just go crazy. Like, did you hear what they said? But the Democrats don't want that because, again, they want to hold the moral high ground. We can't be like them. We can't. We just can't.
They want to keep their job. I'm trying to tell you, man. They don't want to. They don't want to break it. They don't. They want to stay with the status quo. This is what's wrong with the DNC, though. I think that's the real issue. You got the DNC that's controlling who these people are that are speaking for us. I don't think they have a full pulse of what.
So I'm saying
we like maybe the core or the base of the Democrats. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think they're listening to Twitter. I think they are, but I don't think they're actually on there.
So, look, let's get real. I think we got to throw them out. I think we get to a point now to where, they're obviously, well, they're a liability before, but I would just say DNC leadership, I would push the base to say, look, there has to be some upheaval because the new guy they put in there, he's basically a establishment guy, and basically the left has to move further left at this point because basically they're kind of central. It's kind of like a central party versus a Democratic left liberal progressive party. It's just like a Clinton. I guess Clinton was the last nominee, and Clinton represented that.
So they said the Department of Homeland Security stated that the voter system. So I thought, was
got penetrated.
Accessed. Registration rolls of exceptionally small number of states. Yeah, small number of states. But guess how many states they needed?
Yeah, I was going to say, it's 50 states. It's a small number.
So small was what, 5?
Bro, they needed like what, 5?
5 was substantial
6?
in this election.
Yeah.
So it says there, but you know what's going to happen? Fake news. They trying to say I didn't win. They trying to find anything to say I didn't win. Fake news. We hate them. And then their Department of Homeland Security. So anybody with them or the FBI or the CIA or the local fucking police, the administration say, fuck them. We get our own people.
Y'all remember when Whitney Houston got interviewed by Diane Sawyer? She was like, Whitney, are you smoking? She was like, what? Yeah. And it was just like, if she says no, what you gonna do? Make her take a drug test? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like the same thing. What? Yeah, like, huh? Crack? What are you talking? Yeah, like sidewalks have cracks. Don't step on them. No, like cocaine. Huh? What? I like cocoa beans. Like, okay, here we go.
You playing.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like, until, I don't know if it's like, again, what you made the point about, advertisers have an expectation of media outlets. And in terms of to me, the market correction for media outlets should be about half of what it is now. I think you should have to say, you know what, for journalistic integrity, we just have to be able to say, look, here's how much money we should expect. And with that, we don't have to cater to, to all this nonsense. But I don't know that's going to happen.
So Bezos own Washington Post, right? Or is it Elon Musk?
No, it's Washington, and Washington Post has been going in on that ass since day one. But that's one.
New York Times.
That's only one versus.
They go in them. Yeah.
Well, that's expected. They're liberal, but yeah.
But still, in all, it's disappointing. I can continue to be disappointed because it takes so much energy every time stupid shit like this comes up that you got to deal with. Just like the FBI said. I just read the next one that just popped up on it. It says, no evidence of homicide in border agent's death cited by Trump. People got to do more investigation, even though as soon as it came out of his mouth, you said, this is bullshit. But because he said it, people got to do investigation to find out. He's wasting people time because he's
terrible.
Saying it's true. Yeah. And he's not going to jump off of it. Now, when you say there's nothing on it, he'll just forget it and move on. But if you...
I do want to... just to your point about, true and false and spin, we've been talking about the spin zone. The FBI thing. The story came out today that Obama was, quote unquote, I guess, were involved with the Clinton investigation because the FBI text messages. So here you have, on one hand, the crooked FBI, but on the other hand, you can make a story of Obama being involved. So it's kind of like, oh my God,
shouldn't he?
Say what?
He can tell the FBI what to do, and then he's supposed to step back.
Well, the point is kind of like if you have text messages from FBI agents who are like, man, Obama's tripping, Trump's tripping, it's kind of like, well, they're doing what they're supposed to do. Right. They're being nonpartisan and just talking shit. They're doing their jobs. So it's kind of like that, to me, that debunks your whole angle. But no one is pushing that story.
But you have to prove it, though, Chaz. Chaz, you have to prove it, though. Because they only telling half the story. And then you have to say, no, but they said stuff about Obama. No, they didn't. Yes, they did.
And then Trump tweeted about it. And it's kind of like, bruh, you tweeting this. Yeah.
Tweet the whole thing. And he's like, I don't have to. If you want to, you can. But I'm going to say they bias against me. And then when you say, here's the whole transcript, then he'll just shut up and go, okay, next. He's not even going to say, yeah, you're right. He's just going to say,
that's what happens.
And he moves on. And it's so frustrating because you want to sit there and go, wait a minute, motherfucker, you can't move. Until you understand, he was like, I'm not talking about that.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about it. And you're like, you son of a bitch. And then he'll say something crazy again. And like, you know what? We're going to bomb Syria next week because they got weapons of mass destruction. Muslims should die. What? I didn't say that. Like, what the fuck, man? You're killing me. You are killing me. And that's the president. This isn't like a talk show host. This isn't like some local politician. This is the president of the United States doing this shit on a regular basis.
So I'm kind of like, that's why I'm saying earlier, I think realistically, the left has to basically be like, look, DNC, y'all gotta put up or shut up, you know what I'm saying? So after 2018, if results aren't there, and again, it's kind of like people like Bill Maher. That's all I mix about the left media outlets or the left voices. Because besides Colbert and the funny people, we don't have any good, like, serious people on the left. To me, I don't like MSNBC. No. I really don't.
No. I'll run into it every now and then, but
there's some.
I really don't. So I'll read. I don't look
at the video, man. I read my TV. News. That's where it's at. That's if you want to reach the people, how Fox and the other conservative people are. You got to be on TV.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm wondering if it's starting to be like social media. People really. I mean, it depends on the demographic. So if you're in your 40 and up, they say you're gonna watch TV and newspapers. And then if you're savvy enough, on your social media, then I don't know what the numbers is, but I mean, because kids can't vote. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of growing into more Twitter. I'm in that in between. That's my problem. I'm watching the news and then I'm switching to Twitter and then I'm like getting two different stories about the same thing. I'm getting opinion criticized, what Rachel Maddow thinks of what this story is, you know what I'm saying? And then I'm like getting the real thing out of Twitter and I'm like,
So answer this, because I'm going to ask you the same thing, Chaz. So if you had a pie and you broke that pie up into how you get your news, what would be the
Probably
percentage of that pie?
65% is like social media. If I had a percentage on it. Yeah.
Okay.
TV. You know what? I'm
And
a,
then TV
let's,
would
let's see
be what?
things changed because after I moved, room shift, TVs move.
Hmm.
I watch a lot less TV right now. I'll just say that I'm cutting the cable. So I want to say actually,
Okay.
I'm gonna say
Okay.
80% is probably social media. You know, just straight up. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I
So
really
what
don't
about you,
have a lot of
Chaz?
social media in my game because people don't know what the fuck they talking about. Why would I listen to? I don't. I only have a few friends that are politically
So
involved, and even then, I'm not on social media like that. So I have
okay.
apps. I have the news app, so and I just get stories from journalistic sources. You know
Mm.
what I mean? And I have the Wall Street Journal installed. So again, they're more conservative, but I made that effort to say, let me get a conservative viewpoint. I'm just curious to see, and they have a lot of reports about Trump. We're like, this motherfucker's tripping too. So, and of course they have their opinion
Right.
stories that are conservative, but that's mostly I'm basically 80% like news apps,
Mhm.
and then 20% like YouTube
Hmm.
of Seth
Oh, you
Meyers.
don't watch any TV.
These show.
You don't do Comedy
No,
Central. You don't do Bill Maher.
why? First,
See,
I don't find Bill Maher to be. I think I don't know. Last year or 26, I don't know. At some point, I just stopped.
So it's not him. To me, I
yeah.
always look for the people
That's how
who
you do it.
support him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't because his opinion I kind of
Yeah.
moved away from because he just like
Yeah.
he said some
Yeah.
stupid shit about Jerusalem. And he was attacking the Palestinians like, well, they should move the
Yeah.
capital. Fuck no. The Jews, the
Mm-hmm.
Hebrews or whoever the Israelites, I said everything but the right thing. But they're
Well, he's an
taking the
atheist
And
land.
then
too,
They
by
I,
the way.
want to take the land. They're finding every excuse to do that. But he was kind of
He's a,
defending
yeah.
that.
yeah.
And I'm like, man, you full of shit.
Yeah. Well,
But I
just
was
so you
listening
know,
to the
he's
other
an
people.
atheist too. So when it comes to all this religious stuff, he kind of acts
Yeah,
like
he is.
everybody's blowing like hot air out. It's just like, look, just move the motherfucker, and then that's how he talks. And it's like, no, man, it's not that simple. If you actually cared about religion,
Yeah.
you would
Yeah.
understand what they.
Right.
Mhm.
You
Right,
don't
Bill
have to
Maher.
agree with it, but that's how. Then that's yeah. So I know what you're saying. That's
Right.
yeah.
So me, I'm sort of pretty much like as I get maybe 70 to 80% off my apps and my app alerts, and then
Yeah.
John Oliver every week because he always have an education
Oh yeah.
portion in his not his monologue but his show. He has like one topic that he gets a shitload of information that he does a research on, and I always look forward to that because there's so much stuff that he puts in it and I'm like, god damn, wasn't aware of that, and I take that and I continue to do my research on. But social media, the only one that I really get my stuff from would probably be Twitter. And even with that, I reference that back to anything that I do from my alerts because I do a lot of Bloomberg. I do a lot of AP.
Okay.
AP is
yeah.
really good for me because I really like that. And then because my wife liked that too. What is the British one? The BBC.
The BBC.
We get that. That's part of my Alexa app in the morning when I get up before I go to work. I get the
Yeah.
BBC News
Oh, yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's international and it gives me opinions outside of just stupid shit that we would say about each other. They're a perspective looking in, and it's funny sometimes that they're looking at the same thing we do, but they're saying, "Look, I'm not even going to have an opinion. I'm just going to state what the fuck just happened."
Yeah. Well, hold on. I need to correct
Yes.
because y'all went on some detailed, and I was only talking about some 80-20. All right. So, first of all, I'm gonna change my percentage up a little bit. So,
All right.
I do a lot of podcasts.
Oh yeah,
So,
that too.
I literally wake up in the morning,
yeah.
and the first thing I listen to is the Daily. That's the Daily podcast. That's the New York Times, and they're straightforward. They don't give an opinion. It's like, this is what's going on now. Maybe it's like the State of the Union. He'll give a backstory about what he talked about, some things that were possibly false or some things that were true, the stock market, whatever. They just give straight up facts. And then you got NPR. I listen to, I think it's called Up First. I think it's what's called. And I'm talking like 10-minute podcast. 20-minute podcast. Just you could probably take a shower and just listen to it. You know what I mean? That's how I listen to the podcast. And then when I do Twitter, I pay attention to the actual reporters. You know what I'm saying? That are on the ground. What do they say? The boots on the ground, like
right.
The reporters of said news source. So sometimes it's the Post. They'll have a reporter that I'll follow, and then of course they link their stuff. So then I guess it's not necessarily just Twitter. It's a headline, but then I'll click a link. Boom, you're in the app, and you're hearing the story on whatever app it is. You know what I'm saying? So, and then of course you got Apple News, and I feel like I'm like touting our, it's my sponsor, but but.
Hey, I started using the app too.
It's pretty. Yeah. I mean, nice. I was late to it, but the Apple News app, it's you just customize it, and then you get everything you need.
It works really well, especially when you customize it.
Minus some of the headlines are some horse shit because they just going off clicks, like celebrity shit.
You can move through
ignore.
And that's the good thing is you can with the apps you can move through them nicely. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, this bullshit. Here's the one that I'm really looking for.
Right.
But my alerts are more specific. That's why I like my email alerts. So I get my Google alerts, and I have now I got Bitcoin, I got Apple, I got Amazon, I got Home Depot, I got my company. So I get emails with
money.
Stuff like that.
Stocks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, that's too much. Just regular news. Like don't repost shit that's fake.
But see, but I don't do that because usually, and that's how I use Twitter. So if I get a news something from somewhere, I hit the hashtag and see what else is out there from different news media or comments or whatever. Then I relate it from there. And a lot of times I look at who's actually getting it out because you got, like, I'm looking at it right now. Vox has something about Trump's bombshell claim about the FBI text. Who the fuck is Vox? I'm not listening to that shit. The New Republic.
Hold on. Fox, they're all right. They I stopped listening to their podcast.
But I won't stop with them. So I go to the Washington Post, even the New Republic. I kind of look at them, the New York Times. So I put all of that together in order to say, okay, this is a substantial story and it has good background and everybody's carrying something about it. You know what I mean? I don't just take just the one, because I found out sometimes they retract because they jumped out there too fucking quick. So I try to look at different news medias. And I think that's kind of important of being informed. So that's when I was telling you, we was talking about earlier, people don't read. They listen to what's being said on Fox News TV, and it's news forever. There's no research. There's no anything. Let me make sure what they telling me is the right thing. That's not news. That's entertainment. So I like to listen to news, and that's why I wanted to put it out there for all of us, because I think sometimes it may sound like an opinion coming from three different guys, but three different guys does a lot of research on a daily basis to listen to news and to form an opinion and do research. That's what makes it important to be part of the system, basically, and to be a well-informed population.
Right. If only the country did that too, or at least because maybe that's the problem. Maybe it used to be everyone. I think I mentioned this in a few podcasts in the past, but how everyone used to have a newspaper, and you knew where to go. You had your local newspaper, and then you had your main one that the USA Today's or whatever. But now it's so many different sources. So many different, some that are just straight up lies. Somebody in a basement, but they got a nice logo. make
Yeah,
stuff up,
yeah.
and you don't know where that, what's legit or not. So it's easy for because some people probably just get their news from Trump. Every time he speaks or his White House briefing,
Yep.
it's just like,
Or
oh,
follow
okay.
his tweet.
Oh, we're doing great. So I don't know what they're talking about, and then
Yep. They lie.
obviously Fox News, he keeps mentioning Hannity. Let me find out. Oh, Hannity. Oh, yeah. And then it's that simple. And then they go back to their day. They don't even listen to the news. And then it's like a simple way of living. Yeah.
And that's the importance of always being involved.
Yeah.
I mean, if you talk with some substance, if you speaking about a subject, do your research.
Yeah.
If you have an opinion, lace your opinion with facts. I don't have to like your facts, but the facts are the facts. Even though this administration, goes with what did they used to call it? What is it? Modified facts? No, was it something? Alternative facts.
Alternative facts.
Fuck would say that.
Yeah.
And with a straight face. And they kept saying it, and it was like, I'm not taking it back. You know what? That's going to live forever. I'm not taking it back. And we had to accept it because something else came up, and we had to move on. And that's the worst thing with these news cycles, because this administration does so many things bad. We have to move on. We can't even linger on the things that just was done 2 days ago. We have to move on because he just did something crazy today. That's what's so crazy about this, man. But stay informed. Do your research. Find different outlets, and it pays. It pays to be informed, because we have to band together to the strength to say, if this is what we want as a country, just expect the repercussions that happen when you do lose your jobs, or when your taxes go up higher locally for your home, or the rent going to go up because the taxes on these buildings is going to go up, or they're taking money away so these realtors or real estate barons will be able to raise prices, and then it's going to move people into certain areas. You don't know what's going to happen if you just stay ignorant. Stupid. And I like to keep saying stupid because some people know, but they just going to ignore it. Stupidity is when you know and you still fucking do it anyway. Ignorant is, I just don't know, so I don't know any better. Yeah, so stop being ignorant. But please, don't be stupid. Don't.
Damn. Okay.
Home.
I don't even know what to say after that.
So any last thoughts, guys? I don't know if we want to do the predictions, because I'm almost right with the Democrats just fucking giving in. Because I figured they would.
Well, you got the shutdown coming. Well, I shouldn't say the shutdown, but you got this budget deal that needs to be, signed. Do you think that's going to happen?
Yeah. I don't think it's going to be. I think it's going to be pushed again. I think they're going to do like maybe a 3 months now, not a couple of weeks. I think based on what I was reading is they have something on the table that's going to be pushed down for possibly 3 months. So they're kicking the can.
Yeah, that's okay.
They kicking a can to say, let's survive a couple of more months, and then we can start adding stuff into this budget. Because what they're trying to do is sneak shit behind it if they don't get the bill that they want. And then it was, okay, we'll pull that out, but we got a couple of months to build it up and hide it in another way.
Yeah,
they can't do anything with war.
Right.
Because the North Koreans are quiet now.
Well, Pence is talking shit for some reason.
He was
I don't know what he's
told to
doing.
do it.
Yeah.
That's who Pence is. That's that dude.
No.
So yeah.
So
it's.
I think it's gonna. I think the Democrats need to shut it down unless they get what they want. Period. They just have to do something different. I think it's all about unpredictability right now. They need to. They have
to walk away with a win. It don't have to be big, but they gotta walk away with a win. The win will have to be, yep, we got the Dreamers, it's signed. Look, we took care of y'all. Maybe not.
Do
a
we
major
only
win.
want the Dreamers though? Don't we want more than that? Don't we want the wall? Isn't that a win?
So
The wall.
good question. So they had a discussion. If we say yes, we approve the wall, do you think the wall will be up within the next 2 to 3 years?
Oh no, yeah. It's gonna take like years, like 10 years or 8 or whatever it's gonna be. Yeah. Right.
So we still can stop it. Even if we say yes right now, I mean, because I was looking at that. They were talking about that on one of the news stores. Well, a couple of them. And they was like, why not just give it to them? By the time we get the money and get everything together, before we are started, they'll reject it and say, nope, that's a waste of money. Cut that bitch out of the budget.
Yeah.
Or we spent enough money starting it, we're just not going to fund it anymore. But just enough to say, here you go, we got it. And then when you pull the rug up under his ass, it doesn't really matter. But if we don't win any of these seats,
I was gonna say,
none of that shit means nothing.
You got to win.
It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, you got to win some seats out there, some elections. That's what it's all about. November, man. They got to make some noise. Like I know you're right. It's all about wins, but it's also on top of that, they also need to like show that they're doing something different. They're making a difference, because it doesn't feel like that at all. It seems like Trump is just walking all over them. The Republicans are walking all over them. So it'd be nice to get more
cowering in the corner.
Yeah. That's what it feels like. Yeah.
Damn, Chad. What's up, man?
Get rid of just get rid of the DNC leadership. That's my message. Like, you know what? I'm joining the billionaire side. AnitaImpeach.com. I'm gonna do get rid of their ass.com. That's my thing.
So you want them to fire the chairman and
just
get somebody new that we give a shit about.
You know what? Here's what I would do. I would hire a Trump impersonator and do the Apprentice DNC style. Be like, you're fired. Get your ass out of here. I would just hire new people. I'll do like a reality show. Yeah, do a reality show on Netflix. Get people watching, so people are paying attention into like competitive seats. I'll do that shit that way.
I got you.
Why not?
No.
Is it worse than what they're doing now?
It'll be a lot more entertaining though. That's all.
Okay then.
Okay. Anywho, Rethink Politics. Appreciate the input. Wanted to get this in, especially after the State of the Union, which was like fucking crazy. And then all ready for the shutdown or possible shutdown. So really wanted to get this in. But other than that, after this supposedly shutdown, something should be coming up with the Mueller. I don't really feel confident anymore, because it seems as though Congress is allowing any and everything to kind of undermine what he's doing. And it's a battle for him to stay focused, because there's just too much shit coming up. Now, mind you, this may be a brilliant guy who was like, y'all can do it all you want, but if you stop me now, I still got enough. But we don't know. And he's holding his cards close, which is really, really good. Yeah. But we'll just see. So any last thoughts, fellas?
Let's see what the shutdown does. If there is one or not. That's what I'm waiting for. Let's see what the Democrats do.
We'll see what Chuck Schumer does. If he chokes again, get his ass up out of there.
So you back on that shame shit, right? Just like shame your your representative. Shame. So
yeah, your punk ass. I want to run for president just so I can be like, get your mark ass up out of here.
Yeah, stay with the West Coast.
West Coast ass, get your mark ass up out of
here. Yeah. Get your mark ass.
Excellent. So, Think Politics. Tune in and see us every other week on the Bougie Black Brother Network. Thanks.